On January 7th, 2013, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been furnished by inclusion thereof in the annual schedule of meetings for 2013, which has been posted on the bulletin board of Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the Hour Calendar Record, the community news, and the county newspapers. Distributed to all persons, if any, requesting copies of same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Everyone please rise. This morning, will you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Padavano. Here. Council members. Maroney.
Here.
Eisenberg.
Here.
Meglio. Ballerini.
Here.
Fleischman.
Here.
Fabre.
Here.
Borough Attorney Ron Dario.
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Pellegro is here. Borough Administrator Roberta Stern.
Here.
Please come and give us the engineering report.
Honorable Mayor and Council, we issued an engineer's report dated the 9th for tonight's meeting. It is a 4-page letter. The first item on the list is, again, the DEP project. The borough's conflict attorney has been in negotiations directly with Premises conflict attorney. I know there was written correspondence that was issued on August 7th directly to Mr. Sokolich requesting some review of the draft agreement that's been prepared on the borough's behalf. The second item is the Spring Valley Road project. That project has been closed out with respect to the submissions by the borough to DOT. Through our correspondence with DOT, within the next couple months, the borough should see the remaining 25% of the grant funding back from the state. The third item, which is on page 3, is the paving program of Maywood Avenue. Subsequent to last month's meeting, we had corresponded directly with the county and been informed that they will begin construction actually on August 26th of this month. We informed them that some of the construction activities are going to be in the vicinity of Maywood Avenue School and that those should be completed prior to the start of school so that we don't end up with any traffic issues with children being dropped off. Item 4 relates to the East Hunter Avenue road program. Again, the borough received, I believe, a $150,000 grant from the state. We had issued a proposal for construction management and engineering services as it relates to both Hunter Avenue from Maywood Avenue to Van Cleve Avenue, and then also for the section of Spring Valley Road, construction managing, putting the package back together for the section in between the park and the section closer to West Pleasant Avenue. The fifth item on the list relates to Bergen County open space. We understand that the borough's grant consultant is preparing the package, which is due August 29th on behalf of the borough. I would assume at the next meeting there would be a public hearing as it relates to it so that the application can be filed accordingly. The final item on the list relates to the DOT grant program for the following year, 2014. There are a series of projects that a municipality could file for. They include Transit Village, bikeways, safe streets to transit programs, and also municipal aid. Those are due in the middle of September. We would just ask information from the governing body as it relates to what projects you'd like to file, and then we would aid with the process to put that together. At your September 10th meeting, we would forward an endorsing resolution to be considered by the governing body for roadway improvement projects, which would need to be filed as part of the application. And that will conclude the report. I'd be glad to answer any questions or comments.
With regard to the grant application program, we talked briefly, you can apply for a street paving and a streetscape simultaneously, as two separate projects. I don't know if anybody has any objection to that happening, that the engineering firm prepared for the streetscapes, again, they prepared the specs for the streetscape on Hunter Avenue to the train tracks, and it's just a matter of coming up with what street we want to attack for paving 2014. I think maybe between now and the next meeting, if you can review the streets, make a proposal. I think Elm is certainly a street that comes to mind as being a significant portion of it being a problem, but by all means, any members of council are aware of other streets that we can communicate with the engineer so that in September we do have these resolutions ready to go, unless anybody else has any comments or objections with regard to that strategy going forward for the applications for next year. Sounds good. Anybody else have any questions for the engineer? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No public hearing, pending ordinances, correspondence, Board of Borough Clerk.
I'll just remind everybody, tomorrow is a special primary election, and the polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I think everything else is on everybody sent out an email for the additional resolution, and the rest is on the action list. I have nothing else.
Borough Administrator?
The only thing that I have is that we did receive the check from the Bergen County for the $13,000 for the payment of that ADA project at the pool. So that will be put back into pool funding for the other things that we need to do.
Did that project exceed that 13,000?
I'm sorry?
Did that exceed 13, or we were under?
No, it did exceed it by a couple of $1,000, if I remember correctly. I think it was 15 and change.
And that was for the kiddie pool?
That was for the kiddie pool
Zero.
ramp.
Right.
The new application, we were given the full amount that we applied for, and that was to make the improvements at the ADA bathroom at the pool, which we'll start getting prices on. That's it. Except, I'm sorry, the Fall Festival, just to remind everyone, October 6th, and we're moving along, getting people to sign up and be a part of it. We've sent flyers out, hand-delivered flyers all over the place, and if you could think of anything that you'd like to see at the Fall Festival, let me know.
Well, Vern, have we got in touch with the county for the band shell?
It's done.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I have what I believe will be a somewhat lengthy report to give a closed session.
Committee reports. Councilman Osborne.
Order.
I'm sorry. We were Frankless last time. Sorry, Mr. Maroney. I was looking in that direction. Sorry, Mr. Maroney, excuse me.
I don't know, I think it's reversing the order. Mr. Mayor, just have a couple of things. From the Maywood Recreation Department, there's a day at Caesar's Palace Casino in Atlantic City, Tuesday, October 29th, 9 a.m. for the Maywood Pool Parking Lot. It's a $20 fee, which includes $30 in slot play and 5 pay lunch, and checks are paid for the board Borough of Maywood. And there's a townwide garage sale that's happening October 19th from 9 to 6 p.m. The cost to a household is $5. You need to register third floor Park Avenue by October 4th. And with that, you get free advertising. That's all.
Now, Councilman Lee.
Just briefly, we met with one of the software vendors for upgrading the software in the building department and potentially looking at a web-based product for upgrading all of the departments. We did receive a quote from them, and from my recollection, I believe it was $33,000 initially to get set up, and I remember it was 19 was
And change for the maintenance.
The comparison being and that's for the web-based product, for the, it would serve all departments. The building department only product, which would be installed on our server here, and I should add that the web-based product is hosted off-site in the data center with backup and everything. The local product, which would just do the building and zoning, would be on our server here. And that one, I believe, is 22,000 and 8,000 maintenance annually.
I don't know about the maintenance, I don't remember that number, but it's 22 for, or actually, that was for some additional software that we had not included
Some
when we
modules,
originally,
right.
some modules that, for planning, that we didn't have before. About 2 or 3 other small modules that
Yeah.
were helpful, but we had not priced before.
Just for the benefit of the public, the web-based product, you get all the modules, it's an all or nothing deal.
Right.
Product that's installed on our server here would just be individual modules, and I'm fairly certain that it's $8,000 or $9,000 annually. So there is a cost differential, but potentially there's a labor savings and a convenience to the public to be able to do business after hours. So we'll investigate those, and I also look forward to attending the New Jersey Municipal League convention in October, November, so I can take a look at some of the other vendors as well. Although I should say that I was fairly impressed with the vendor that presented for us. There was one other issue. I was a little remiss in getting back to the assisted living, but I understand that the mayor got to speak with them, so I'll leave it for his report to follow up on the potential address change or second address.
And excuse me, if I could just, if anyone of council or Roberta as well is interested in going to the league, I did receive the papers. If you could let me know, and we will sign you up.
Wow. Sure.
Let me know as soon as possible. We can do that.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the computer program that we saw the other day, they said that 200 of the 566 municipalities in the state use that now.
Right.
So it seems like it's...
Unless one of the other vendors has more than 200.
Yeah.
They seem to be the
See,
computer vendor.
they do, apparently.
Mr. Valerie?
I have nothing to report tonight.
Mr. Fleischman?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. A few DPW items. One, I've been asked recently about the street sweeper and the frequency of it, and where is it, and how come it's not out more. The street sweeper was down for repairs, actually. Had a serious brake issue. We had to order parts directly from the manufacturer. That has now since been repaired. It was on the road yesterday. And it has kind of a new and improved repair, so to speak. So the sweeper, I'm going to work with the superintendent, have a better schedule, more frequency on the roads. It just hasn't been utilized enough. There's been other things going on. Now that we have a little reduction in some of the ball field activity, everything else, we can have an employee with the sweeper out more often, which I think everybody has been asking for and looking for over the last few months. But now that the sweeper is repaired properly, we'll be able to use it more effectively. Also, just a reminder to all the residents, when we have trees cut down, we had some discussion here about trees and the expense of removing the debris and so forth. The wood chips we pretty much are able to dispose of at no cost. We have some places where we can dump the chips that really do not cost the borough any money to remove that. If we get into a situation where we have some of the bigger lots that we have to dispose of, in discussing with the superintendent and the tree crew, we're going to cut the logs into more favorable pieces so people can lift them easily. The wood is available to any resident. The wood is going to be left on the curb for a few days, 3 to 5 days. Any wood not picked up, we'll dispose of at that point. But in order to make the wood more available to a homeowner or resident, cut them shorter lengths so they're easier to pick up, put into a truck or put into a trunk of a car or back of the car. This time of year we're getting into the fall season, winter season, everybody's looking for firewood, so we're going to handle that a little differently to cut down on the expenses of freight. We do have a dumpster that we use, but it handles quite a bit of brush. We chip up a lot of the brush and a lot of the wood, and then the bigger logs that are not picked up or not used, we put in that dumpster, but quite a few trees fit into that dumpster. So we're making a little bit better use of where to dispose of, how to dispose of, and how to make it more available for the homeowners to get wood. Usually it's down the DPW garage, it's laying in a pile, it's hard to get to. So if we cut it into smaller pieces, leave it at the curb, and any tree you see, people were afraid to pick up the wood. They thought they would get in trouble for taking the wood. It's a borrowed tree, cut up by the town, leave it out at the curb, help yourself. Any wood you see on the curb is...
On the curb, the key.
On the curb, exactly. You know, not on someone's property next to their garage in their backyard, you know, on the curb. And they'll leave a sign up next to the wood. They have a sign that they have free wood or whatever wood available, and that'll be left out there too for everyone to pick up. Also, within the next couple of weeks, there'll be an assessment of all the equipment that we have available for snow, what we need to repair, what we don't need to repair. We will be stocking some parts for emergencies, belts, hoses, pistons, things of that nature, so we don't have excessive downtime. We do have a great relationship with a vendor in Hackensack that handles all our plowing equipment, and they're usually available 24/7 during a heavy snowstorm, and they repair our things pretty quickly. But we'd like to do a little bit more of that in-house, have it back on the road right away if there's a problem with a plow or a truck. You know, we'll have spare tires, spare rims, spare hoses, belts, plow parts, plow pistons, wiring. There's a salt spreader that we have that has an antiquated engine on it. We're going to convert that to a hydraulic system, so the one that's on our truck now, operating hydraulically, we can just interchange the parts. Take that salt spreader off, put this new one on, very little downtime. And very little expense to convert that. Instead of buying a new engine and a motor for several $1,000s, we can convert it and have it ready at will. Also, the brine system's in place. We'll have that operational a lot sooner this year. It'll be ready to go for the first episode. Hopefully it's not October. Hopefully it's well after January 1st, would be nice. But everything is at the ready. We're going through all the equipment in the next couple of weeks. And I do have a couple of closed session items as well.
Great.
Thank you.
How will people know where the wood is? Is there any kind of list or do you call it?
No, there'll be a sign. There'll be a sign on the curb. Free wood.
How do they know to drive?
Oh, you have to stumble across the crew.
Unless we can have, you know, Judy keep a sign posted, you know, up here at the DPW office.
My first thought was to say, put it on the website, because you do that, a lot of people from other towns, when they go on for rest, and then you have it.
Yeah, just on the wall, how much you can keep a list up to her.
Which trees are...
Yeah.
Trees are able to take that.
Absolutely.
Can't hurt.
And if people know about it, they are liable to call, and then we can tell them there will be wood because this tree is scheduled to be taken down, so it'll just communicate.
Great. Council President Cabrera.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick update on the old Rescue 23. The individual from the county, we're still waiting for them to come look at it. I spoke with the deputy chief the other day. They are going to come and kick the tires, start it up, make sure everything's working. And in the meantime, the chief is going to have the no smoke taken off the old 23 and put on the new 23. The no smoke is basically when the truck is running inside the station, it keeps the vapors, the fumes from, it recycles out, it keeps it from going into the room. So we are just waiting on the county at this point to see where we are with that. Hopefully they find the old 23 favorable and they take it off our hands. So man, that's all I have at this point.
Are they going to ask for the stuff?
Yes.
Any idea how much?
I think we should probably discuss that closer. But yes, there is an idea.
Briefly, thank our police department for National Night Out. Great job. Everybody provided food, and it was a nice evening. The weather was very cooperative that night. Speaking of police department, I know that they did receive grant funding for the drunk driving prevention program. They will be implementing that task force, I guess, at the end of this month, beginning of September. With regard to what Mr. Eisenberg brought up, I did have a meeting with the people at the Maywood Rehab Nursing Home on Magnolia. Roberta and I met with the director there to discuss some of the problems that we're dealing with as a municipality with on-street parking of visitors and employees, as well as trucks accessing the street. They are now implementing a program so that all access from vendors and people, contract people that utilize the site have been put on notice. We've received copies of memorandum that they've sent to these people and companies directing them all to come into Hergesell. They understand that that is something that they can control and something that the borough will be monitoring to make sure that they do control that. With regard to the on-street parking in the area, we've made them aware of the problems that go on along the westerly end of Magnolia and the streets around, the side streets around Ramapo and Eccleston. So they are aware of that. They're taking efforts to instruct their staff to leave more vacancies in the parking lot for visitors. I proposed to them that they look into developing a large piece of grassed area that is unused now into an additional parking area that's on their site. They are discussing that with the owners of the property and facility to get that potentially done. Maybe talking to our building department soon about that. That would probably add a lot of on-site parking, which would allow more visitor parking. They are currently renting spaces at an adjacent property for a number of their employees to keep them off-site. The on-street issue is a problem for the area, and we will have to keep monitoring that and pushing with that. We did discuss the address change and phasing that in. It's obviously not the easiest thing to do. Procedurally, it's an easy thing to do, but functionally for a business and one that is licensed by the state and federal government and everybody else who has a health care license, and to update the address, and will probably take a little bit of a phase in if we get that done. I think some of the online services send you to the right address, some of them do not. I personally sent emails to MapQuest, which is one of them that doesn't send you the right way. GPS services, I don't know how you will alert that to make a change other than getting the address broadcast.
I think one of the things that we brought to their attention is that on their own site,
Correct.
the directions aren't correct, so we've asked them to change that as well.
And one of the things that they were interested in was potentially having a sign on Maywood Avenue, much like Maywood Inn has a sign on State Street and Science Street has a sign on Maywood Avenue, just kind of directing people that potentially would put one at Central and then back down on Hergesell, so that people driving on Maywood Avenue will know to turn down Central rather than go down Magnolia. But that's something we'll have to explore a little more once tree work gets done on Central Avenue. It's scheduled to be done as that.
So that to be correct, is that, you said that to do with the private ambulances as well?
Yes, it did. It went to their private ambulance companies and their vendors. There's food supply, there's a maintenance supply company, and office supply, all the trucks that use it. So they provided us with copies of the memos that they sent. So
When does that begin?
it's supposed to begin immediately. Yeah.
And it's effective immediately, right?
Yeah, we'll keep monitoring that. I know that there are people on that block that are kind of the eyes on the ground over there as well as the borough's enforcement agencies. So we'll keep on top of that and start to do that to get that done. Sunday is the street fair, August 18th. Now, we have talked about the street fairs several occasions, and perhaps now that this is the second one of the year, we give some consideration, and not necessarily for any kind of decision tonight, but personally, I think maybe we should go to one and let the Chamber of Commerce know that it would be a recommendation of the governing body to go to 1 year rather than 2. But that's something that we can all discuss and think about over the next couple of weeks, months. But I would like to, if we are going to make that recommendation, and advise the Chamber of Commerce that we're not inclined to closing the street more than once a year for this purpose, that we kind of come to a decision on that by the end of September, so that they can let the company that normally runs this know ahead of time. Personally, I think, once a year gets the job done. I think, twice a year, maybe it's a little much, and maybe there are other things that can be done on Pleasant Avenue in August or in April, whichever one we want to direct us. If that's something that everybody's in agreement with. But something to think about, maybe we'll continue to talk about at the next couple of meetings. That's just my personal opinion about going to 1 year. Makes more sense. Fortunately, in the past couple of years, we've started to get money from the vendor, and we are offsetting some of the DPW costs now. That wasn't done in the past, but quite frankly, it's not offsetting enough, and it doesn't 100% cover it. And I think we have to think, is it a Maywood thing, or is it a regional thing that we're sponsoring here? I don't know that it's a 100% Maywood thing. I'd rather see us try to use Pleasant Avenue for a car show or something of that nature that may be focused more on the local merchants. I know some of the merchants on Pleasant Avenue do very well at the street fair, and some of the merchants do very poorly at the street fair because they lose their parking and their accessibility. I know the Maywood Market takes a major hit on those days. I know that the Oak and the Inn take a major hit with traffic and parking problems. But some of the other food vendors do very well because they're there. So it's something to think about. Keep talking about. If anyone wants to chime in now, keep talking. I think so. We'll have to talk to the Chamber of Commerce as well. But
Before they do another contract.
right,
I mean,
correct.
even though we vote on each one, but I think it would just be, the right thing to do. If the town really feels that way, then we should let them know sooner than later, and probably right after this one, so that there's no misunderstanding for next year.
I would think 1 year, pretty much online. I mean, maybe you just give the chamber let them have the choice whether you want April or August. And that'll be it.
Whoever wants to agree.
Put them all on Union Street.
Because you don't live here.
But something we can talk about a little more over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully come to a recommendation by the end of September. Fall Festival, as the Administrator indicated, October 6th. Hopefully we're going to have some special things this year.
Very special. Jumping Dragons are coming back. They'll be playing at the band show.
Maybe a pie eating contest or something like that. And also that same day, the Maywood Hawks 5K is going to be run. We do have the route already chalked out for everybody, so that's a good thing. So that'll be ready for October 6th as well. I think they have a website. I don't recall it over the top of my head, but Maywood Hawks 5K. I think if you type that in, you'll find it and you can register. Okay. That's all I have. We want to open the meeting to the public. Anybody from the public wish to speak? Mr. Brown.
Thank you, John Brown, 41 Stony Avenue. More for informational purposes, 913, the bond ordinance. Section K talks about locker rooms for the swim pool. In the past, anytime I've heard about the swim pool, I've been told, or council said, that it covers its own costs. Question I have is capital costs like this, are they covered by their fees, or is that part of the taxpayers? Or-
Some of it does, some of it doesn't. They cover their own costs and salaries and running the pool during the summer months. And they've been actually profitable in recent years. And that's enabled us to do some improvements to the pool. A capital improvement of this nature, which is basically a wholesale replacement of both bathrooms, will obliterate every penny that the pool already generates.
So it's not
So
covered by...
it may offset, whether or not all of this money that's allocated under the bond is utilized for that purpose, there may be some profit of the pool that is offsetting some of the cost of it, but it normally won't
Right.
cover that much of a capital.
Okay, so capital on pool generally is held by everybody.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, like, we've replaced some...
Borough facility, so to speak. It's a borough
Yeah.
building,
Right.
not just a pool. And in this case, this is something that needs to be undertaken, and it's a large enough project that it should be partially bonded.
Again, it was just for information. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public? Close the public. No resignations, no appointments, council approval. Rosary Society, Our Lady Queen of Peace, permission to hold an on-premises 50/50 raffle at Our Lady Queen of Peace, 400 Maywood Avenue, Maywood, New Jersey, on September 22, 2013, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Number 2, from the Lutheran Church of the Redeemer, requesting permission to close one block of Taplin Avenue between Maywood Avenue and Oak Street on Sunday, September 22, 2013, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to hold their annual Rally Day outdoor worship and picnic, to include a petting zoo and pony rides that will be stationed on the lawn of the Redeemer's property along Taplin Avenue. Number 3, from the Oak Ale House, request to hold an anniversary Labor Day holiday party on Saturday, August 31st, 2013, and September 1, 2013, from noon to 9 p.m. with the rain date of Saturday, September 7, 2013. Approval of this application request will be specifically contingent upon final approval of both fire department and police departments, and I believe fire prevention as well.
I've used fire covering fire and fire prevention, yes.
Anybody wish to move for the approval of these things? Move for approval.
Question.
Sure.
Item number 2, Dean, I'm assuming all permits and block party permits and everything have been handled?
Well, no, because they want to actually close the street. They did this last year as well. We can request a certificate of insurance, which we would, done in the past.
They don't have to have a block party permit for closing that section of the road down?
We didn't have them do that last year for some reason. I don't know.
Especially with petting zoo and pony rides. We have a neighbor right across the street.
They do have houses on it.
You got a house, you got a couple of houses right there on the corner, and then you got Maywood Avenue. I mean,
Anybody have a problem with amending that to subject to block party permit? No. You still make that motion,
I will make that motion.
Still second it, Mr. President?
Yes. No, that's it.
What other question?
House. Is this party 2 dates long?
Yes, but the rain date is only one day. Marathon is what I asked you if it was.
I'm presuming, it says it's ending at 9 p.m.
Yes, no,
It's not starting at noon on the 31st and running to 9 p.m. on the next
he
day.
was going to do it in both days and nights. He's going to do it both days if it's okay with council. Otherwise, he'd like to have it both days, weather permitting, but it still might only be one day.
Is it the hours or the location that the council's approving?
Noon to 9 p.m. on each day,
And
and the location is the rear parking lot. Is that for the application?
correct. And that's as long as, they did it last year, it was approved. As long as the police didn't find, or the fire prevention didn't didn't find a problem with it last year. And it's supposedly the same exact thing, as long as they didn't want to make any modifications. And if they do, they would make the modifications, and if the council agrees to that.
Well, this is subject to the fire prevention and police department's final approval.
Right.
So whatever fire department,
Correct.
if the council approves this, then whatever the fire department and fire prevention and police department mandate has to be done, has to be done.
Correct.
Yes. This is the one right behind it, not the old hardware store. Any other questions? Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Surratt?
Yes.
Okay, resolutions, resolution by title.
Resolution 11313, a resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase of lifeguard chairs for the Maywood Municipal Pool.
Would hear a motion.
Move for the adoption.
Second. Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Surratt?
Yes.
Two ordinances on the agenda for introduction. Before we get to these, without getting into the questions, we can get into them once we make the motion, but just a statement with regard to ordinance 913. This is the bond ordinance, which we've talked about a couple of times. This ordinance, as everyone can see, totals out at $950,000, a substantial amount of money. However, I point out to everyone, members of the public, that does not mean that the borough is spending $950,000. Bonds are basically home equity lines of credit. You use the money, you pay for it. If you don't use the money, you don't pay for it. As everyone will recall, we closed out about $558,000 of unused bonds a month or so ago. So it is very likely that there will be money in this bond that is not utilized. However, that being said, I think everyone can see that the funds that are being allocated and identified for allocation under this bond are not frivolous funds by any stretch of the imagination. John F. Kennedy once said that the right time to fix the house is when the sun is shining. Well, it's raining. It's raining, and it's been raining for a little while, and there are some items on here that need to be fixed, not the least of which is the HVAC system and heat system for the senior center, obviously some streets being paved, and other items that are listed in this bond. But again, I want everyone to understand, just because the number seems to be very high does not mean that that money is being spent. Every dime of any money allocated under this bond will be up for further approval from this council on whether or not the council wishes to proceed with a specific project and allocate money out of this bond. So, anyway.
Is it every penny that's spent, I know it's only over 70?
Every penny over 75, according to what it says.
And just for the public, money has to be designated for specific use. So you can't say we're going to pass it for 25% more than we need to be spread over any one thing. If it runs over, each thing has to be allocated. So, and specific.
Right. And you'll notice from the bond that they are broken down for each project, and potential project. But again, the vast majority of these projects are necessary situations that the borough needs to address. So, ordinance, introduction of ordinance.
Ordinance 813 is ordinance amending Chapter 312 of the Code of the Borough of Maywood to add Section 312-7F relating to hours of restricted parking.
We have a motion on this ordinance. Motion. Second. Roll.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Surratt?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 813 pass on first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting of the Mayor and Council to to be held August 27, 2013 at 8:15 p.m. at Borough Hall, 15 Park Avenue, Maywood, New Jersey, at which time and place all persons interested therein will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. The Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law. Ordinance 913, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment and new automotive vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Maywood in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $950,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Move for introduction.
Second.
Roll call. Maroney.
Yes.
Heisenberg.
Yes.
Ballerini.
Yes.
Fleischman.
Yes.
Surratt.
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 913 passed on first reading, and that said ordinance will be further considered for final passage at a meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held on August 27, 2013 at 8:15 p.m. at the Borough Hall, 15 Park Avenue, Maywood, New Jersey, at which time and place all persons interested therein will be given a copy, be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. The Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law.
Okay. New business? Old business? Miscellaneous. Maywood trivia of the day. 75 years ago on August 6th, the last trolley rolled through town.
Wow.
Nice. I know everybody
Where
gets
did it roll?
Where
Mayor, where was it?
was it?
Where was it rolling?
Right down, Pleasant Avenue.
There was one in Fort Wayne, by my old house, by the House Amusement Park.
Do we have a couple of items for closed session? Do we have a motion to go into closed? So moved. Roll call.
Maroney. Heisenberg.
Yes.
Ballerini.
Yes.
Fleischman.
Yes.
Surratt.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, Mayor and Council meet in closed session to discuss the following subject matters: contract negotiations and personnel. Be further resolved that as precise to determine at this time discussion conducted in said closed session will be disclosed to the public upon taking final action thereon, provided disclosure not violate the attorney-client privilege or constitute undue invasion of privacy. And be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that in not wishing to return to open session, but reserve the right to do so.
Okay. We will not be back.
We will be back.
Very likely. Yeah.